I am a teacher, and one question my students frequently ask me is, why should I read if I already go to class and watch movies in English? I understand why they are asking this. Reading can be difficult, and it may seem easier to simply watch videos or listen to teachers, but today, I'd like to discuss why reading is so important and how it can benefit you in a variety of ways. When I was younger, I didn't enjoy reading much. I'd rather watch television or play games. However, one day, a teacher said something that changed my mind. She explained that reading helps you understand the world better. It broadens your perspective and improves your intelligence. At first, I didn't believe her, but I decided to give reading a shot. And she was correct. The more I read, the more I learned, and it became easier to understand things at school and in everyday life. You see, when you read, you are not simply looking at the words. You're learning how to think, understand, and solve problems. That's why reading is essential. It helps you in ways you don't realize at first. One of my favorite quotes about reading comes from Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin. He stated, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads only lives once." This means that reading allows you to explore different worlds, ideas, and lives. It's like living multiple lives using the power of books. Now let me tell you about a smart way to get started reading. It's known as skimming and scanning. Skimming entails reading quickly to grasp the main idea of a text. Scanning involves looking for specific information, such as dates or names. These two techniques allow you to read faster and concentrate on what is important. Skimming. Let's say you have a lengthy chapter to read, but don't have much time. Skim through the chapter by reading the first and last sentences of each paragraph. This gives you an overall idea of what the text is about. Scanning. If you only need one piece of information, such as a date or a name, do not read everything. Instead, scan the text for keywords or numbers. This saves you time and allows you to find what you need quickly. These techniques are extremely useful when you have a lot of reading to do, but need to prioritize what's most important. I remember a student once telling me that he doesn't have time to read long books, but I told him that he didn't have to read every word to learn from it. Skimming and scanning will still help you learn a lot. He tried it, and he found himself reading more than ever before. Reading isn't just for school or tests. It is about learning to think and comprehend the world. That's why it's so important. Even if you think you don't enjoy reading, give it a try. You might find that you enjoy it more than you expected. The power of vocabulary. Finally, we discussed why reading is important. Now, let's talk about one of the most important benefits of reading: vocabulary. Many students tell me that I don't understand many words in English. This is normal. But do you know what is the best way to learn new words? Reading. Reading constantly exposes you to new words. These words are in sentences, so you can usually guess their meaning without using a dictionary. Over time, you will learn an increasing number of words, making it much easier to understand English. Let me share a story about one of my students. His name was Mark. Mark struggled a lot when speaking in English. He knew a few words, but he lacked the vocabulary to hold a conversation. He'd often say, "I can't find the right words to express what I mean." I told him, "Mark, you should start reading more." He did not believe me at first. He thought speaking was the only way to improve his English. But I explained that reading helps you learn words in context, which would also improve his speaking skills. So Mark began reading. He did not choose long books. He began with short stories and articles. Every day he read for 20 minutes. He didn't understand many words at first, but I encouraged him to persevere. After several weeks, he began to notice something. He could comprehend more words and was soon able to use them in conversation. Mark's story demonstrates how reading can help you develop a strong vocabulary. Reading helps you learn new words, phrases, and expressions without even trying. It's one of the most straightforward ways to improve your language skills. One of my favorite reading quotes comes from Dr. Seuss, the well-known children's author. He said that the more you read, the more you'll learn. The more you learn, the more places you'll visit. This quote is very true. Reading not only helps you learn new words, but also allows you to discover new ideas and gain a better understanding of the world. Now, let us discuss another way to improve your English through reading. It's called reading aloud. This is when you read a book or article aloud rather than in your head. Reading aloud allows you to practice your pronunciation and become more comfortable speaking English. This is how reading aloud works. Select a short text, such as a page from a book or a newspaper article. Read it aloud, concentrating on proper pronunciation. Do not worry if you make mistakes. The important thing is to hear yourself speak English. Shadowing is also an excellent way to improve your speaking and listening skills. Shadowing is when you listen to someone read or speak in English and then repeat what they say right after them. This improves your English pronunciation and rhythm. It's similar to practicing speaking with a partner, except you're learning from audio. This is how to practice shadowing. Find an English podcast or audiobook. You can also use YouTube videos with subtitles. Listen carefully to the audio. Pause the audio and repeat the sentence or phrase you just heard. Attempt to match the speaker's pronunciation and speed. Maria, one of my students, was very shy when it came to speaking English. She explained, "I'm afraid of making mistakes." I advised her to practice reading aloud at home and shadowing with podcasts. She was nervous at first, but after a few weeks, she gained confidence. Maria now speaks clearly and is not afraid to participate in class discussions. So, if you feel like you don't know enough words or struggle to speak, try reading more and employ techniques such as reading aloud and shadowing. Your vocabulary and speaking skills will improve significantly over time. Remember that reading expands your vocabulary, which improves your ability to communicate in English. It's easier to speak, write, and listen. Part 3. Reading for fun. In the final section, we discussed how reading can help you improve your vocabulary and speak more effectively. Now let's talk about something equally important. Reading for fun. Many students believe that reading is only for studying or passing exams. However, reading can be enjoyable too. And when you enjoy reading, you learn faster and retain more. Allow me to tell you about a student I had named Mia. Mia didn't enjoy reading. She thought it was boring and difficult. She said, "Why should I read when I can watch movies or listen to music?" I understood her emotions. Reading felt like work to her, and she was uninterested in reading school textbooks. But I told her that you didn't have to read boring books. You can read whatever you want. Mia didn't believe me at first, but I encouraged her to try reading something fun that she enjoyed. She enjoyed adventure stories. I gave her a simple adventure book with short chapters. After only a few pages, she approached me with a smile and said, "I really like this. I feel like I'm in the story." Mia began reading every day after that, not out of obligation, but because she wanted to. That is the magic of recreational reading. When you enjoy reading, it does not feel like work. It feels like an adventure. You can read comic books, mystery stories, fairy tales, and even science fiction, anything that makes you want to turn the page. Here's the best part. You're learning without realizing it. As you enjoy the story, your vocabulary expands, your comprehension improves, and you begin to think more in English. Jack Addison famously said, "Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body." This means that reading helps to strengthen your mind in the same way that exercise does. The more you read, the more you use your brain and become smarter. Intensive reading is one of the most effective reading techniques for recreational reading. This means you read a story slowly and carefully, taking note of every detail. You don't have to rush. The goal is to fully enjoy the story and comprehend it thoroughly. This is how it works. Select a book or story that you enjoy. Read slowly, paying close attention to each word and sentence. If you come across a word you don't recognize, try to decipher its meaning from the context. If you still don't understand, consult a dictionary. Consider the characters, the plot, and your emotional response to the story. Another technique is to read in chunks. Divide the book into small sections rather than reading it all at once. This makes it easier to follow the story and allows you to think about what you've read before moving on to the next section. Let me tell you a story about a boy named William. William disliked reading at first, but he loved superheroes, so I suggested that he read comics. He initially believed that comic books did not qualify as true reading, but once he began, he couldn't put them down. William enjoyed the pictures and the action-packed stories. And guess what? His English has improved. He learned new words and expressions, and his reading skills improved every day. William did not feel like he was studying. He was having fun, and it made all the difference. When you read for pleasure, you are not simply learning words. You are learning how to think, imagine, and create. Reading becomes more enjoyable as your mind grows stronger. It doesn't matter what kind of book you select. What matters most is that you enjoy it. Another famous quote from Dr. Seuss that I adore: "You can find magic wherever you look. Sit back and unwind. You only need a book." This quote demonstrates that books are full of magic and excitement. You have the freedom to travel anywhere, meet anyone, and have experiences you never thought possible. Everything from the pages of a book. If you're not sure where to start, consider what you enjoy. Do you enjoy adventures, fantasy, romance, or mysteries? Begin with a book that reflects your interests. And remember that reading does not have to be serious. It can be light-hearted, humorous, and entertaining. So next time you think reading is boring, reconsider. Pick up a book you're excited about, and you'll discover that reading can be a fun adventure. Reading for fun is more than just learning. It's about enjoying the journey. How reading makes you smarter. In the final section, we discussed how reading for pleasure can be an exciting way to learn. Now let's look at another important aspect of reading: how reading helps you become smarter. You may have heard that reading helps you focus, remember, and imagine. But do you understand why that happens? Let me explain. When you read, your brain must work in different ways. You must concentrate on the words, comprehend the sentences, and remember what you have read. This helps your brain grow stronger, just as lifting weights helps your muscles grow. The more you read, the better your brain becomes at focusing and recalling information. Allow me to tell you about a student I had named David. David found it difficult to concentrate in school. He was always saying, "I can't focus. I keep forgetting stuff." I told him, "David, to start by reading a little bit each day. It'll help." He didn't believe me at first, but he decided to try it anyway. He started reading for only 10 minutes per day. After a few weeks, he approached me and said, "I can focus better now. Reading helps me remember things better." That is the power of reading. It does more than just teach you new words. It helps to train your brain. When you read, you must remember the characters, plot, and details. This improves your memory and allows you to keep track of more information. Stephen King, the author of many popular books, famously stated, "Books are a uniquely portable magic." This means that books can transport you to magical places without leaving your chair. While you enjoy these magical stories, your brain is working hard to make you smarter by the day. Reading also enhances your imagination. When you read, you must picture the story in your mind. You create images of the characters, locations, and events. This helps you to be more creative. Creativity isn't limited to artists. It's useful in all aspects of life. Creativity is essential for problem solving and the generation of new ideas. Another technique that can assist you while reading is annotation. Annotation means taking notes while reading. Important sentences can be underlined, questions written in the margins, and new words highlighted. This technique encourages you to think more deeply about what you are reading. It also helps you remember important details later. This is how to practice annotation. Keep a pencil or highlighter handy while you read. When you see an intriguing idea, underline or highlight it. If you don't understand something, write a question beside it. You can also record new words and their definitions in the margins or on a separate piece of paper. Sarah, one of my students, did not understand why annotation was useful. She thought reading was simply going from one page to the next. However, after I explained how taking notes while reading helps you think more, she tried it. A week later, she told me that annotations help her remember the most important parts of the story. I do not forget things as easily. Reading is more than just understanding words. It is about thinking and learning. The more you interact with the text, the more you'll gain from it. Reading also promotes creativity and imagination. When you read, you enter new worlds, meet new people, and have new adventures. This enables you to generate new ideas and become more creative in your own life. For example, many inventors, artists, and scientists were avid readers. They learned to think creatively because they read extensively. Let me share another quote from Albert Einstein, one of history's greatest scientists. He said that imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination encompasses the entire world. This means that, while facts and knowledge are valuable, imagination is what truly allows you to grow. Reading helps you develop your imagination. Summarizing is another reading technique that can help you improve your cognitive abilities. After you've finished reading a page or a chapter, try to summarize it in a few sentences. This allows you to concentrate on the most important points and retain key details. Here's how to summarize. After reading a section, pause and consider the main ideas. In your own words, write or say a brief summary of what you just read. Concentrate on the main events, characters, or ideas. If you can't recall something, go back and reread it. Summarizing allows you to organize the information in your mind, making it easier to remember and comprehend. So the next time you read a book, consider how it can help you. It is not simply about completing the story. It's about improving your intelligence, creativity, and ability to focus and remember. Reading strengthens both your mind and imagination. Reading is the key to success. In the previous section, we discussed how reading improves your focus, memory, and creativity while also increasing your intelligence. Now let's talk about something equally important. Reading is crucial to success. Reading will help you achieve your goals in life, whatever they are. Many successful individuals, leaders, inventors, and scientists have one thing in common. They're all readers. They read to learn, grow, and gain a better understanding of the world. Let me explain why reading can open doors for you. Reading helps you gain knowledge. You learn new facts, concepts, and ways of thinking. This knowledge enables you to make better decisions in life. Whether you want to be a doctor, a teacher, a business owner, or anything else, the more you learn, the better prepared you will be. I once had a student named Jack. Jack disliked school and didn't want to read. He felt he didn't need it. But one day, Jack informed me that he wanted to start his own business. I told him that if he wants to be a successful business owner, he should start reading. Jack was surprised. "Why do I have to read to run a business?" he inquired. I told him that reading would help him understand how businesses work, how to manage money, and make wise decisions. Jack decided to try it. He began reading books on business, leadership, and success. He gradually gained confidence as he learned more about running a business. Jack eventually started his own small business, which grew as a result of the knowledge he gained from reading. This is the power of reading. It provides you with the resources you need to succeed. Margaret Fuller's famous quote is, "Today a reader, tomorrow a leader." This means that by reading today, you are preparing yourself to become a leader in the future. Setting goals is one of the most effective techniques for achieving success in reading. Set small reading goals. For example, choose to read 10 pages per day or one book per month. Setting reading goals will help you maintain focus and motivation. This is how you set reading goals. Begin by selecting a book that interests you. Set a goal, such as reading a specific number of pages per day or week. Monitor your progress. You can use a notebook or a calendar to track how much you've read. Reward yourself when you achieve your goal. This will encourage you to keep going. Another way to use reading for success is to read books that motivate you. There are numerous biographies and success stories of individuals who have accomplished great things. Reading their stories allows you to learn from their experiences and gain inspiration for your own journey to success. Emily, another student of mine, aspired to be a scientist. She enjoyed learning about nature and animals, but she wasn't sure how to accomplish her goal. I handed her a book about a famous scientist who discovered new species of animals. Emily was so inspired by the story that she decided to study harder and pursue her dreams. She is currently pursuing a degree in biology and aspires to work in science. Another reading technique that will help you succeed is critical thinking. When reading, don't just accept what you see. Ask questions. Consider what you're reading and how it compares to your existing knowledge. Critical thinking helps you understand things better and prepares you to make sound decisions in life. Here's how to engage in critical thinking while reading. As you read, ask yourself questions such as, "Do I agree with this?" or "What does this actually mean?" Consider how the information in the book relates to other things you've learned. If something does not make sense, look it up or ask for clarification. Let me conclude with one last quote from Barack Obama. "Reading is the foundational skill that enables all other learning." This means that reading facilitates the acquisition of all other knowledge. If you can read well, you can learn whatever you want. Reading is more than just learning new words and stories. You're preparing yourself for the future. Whether you want to be a doctor, a teacher, a business owner, or a leader, reading will equip you with the necessary skills. Reading is your key to success. At the end of the day, success is not based on luck. It requires hard work, knowledge, and determination. And reading is the key to unlocking all of these things. Reading increases your knowledge and helps you grow. So remember, read today and lead tomorrow. Each book you read is a step closer to your long-term success. The world is full of opportunities, and reading will help you find and seize them.